Hello, my name is Tucker Johnson, and I am your host today as we experience Nimdzi Live, where we talk about the latest and greatest in translation, localization, internationalization, culturalization, and all that fun stuff that global companies need to delight their international customers, or at least not to piss them off too much. On Nimdzi Live, that's not Nimdzi Live. That's a different program that I was doing last night that you guys should all go watch on multilingual channels. But anyways, intro or not, on this program we invite guests who like to have fun and also have some value to add for our audience of globalization professionals. I'm always glad to provide a platform to those with a good story or a good data set. So let us know if there are any topics you'd like covered or guests we should reach out to for future episodes. If you aren't already subscribed or following Nimdzi Insights, now's your chance. If you're watching this and you hit that subscribe or follow button, then you will be the first to be notified when we have new live streams or when Nimdzi Insights publishes new research. One thing I'd like to talk a little bit about today is Multilingual Magazine. You saw that intro, but Multilingual Magazine is running a special right now. We have introductory rates for 6-month subscriptions to start out, international and domestic rates. I encourage you to go check out multilingual.com for more information. The new magazine, the 200th issue of Multilingual Magazine, 200th issue, is just arriving on doorsteps around the world right now. And next month is going to be a very exciting issue because we're focusing, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm just not going to spoil it for you. Upcoming events in this industry, we've got, things are picking back up, people. Things are picking back up here in the industry. So I think it's time to go look at the industry events calendar, which we haven't really looked at for a while. I'm kind of taking it over recently with the Nimdzi Lives, but we also got Global Sake coming up. Great work being done over at Loc from Home. Of course, we have the Nimdzi 100 webinar / live stream / readout that's coming up next week. And, of course, we have Localization World, which is coming up here on the calendar, and that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about today. But first, a little bit about the platform. We're here on LinkedIn. We like LinkedIn. Everybody's here with us already on LinkedIn, so it's very convenient for us. Those reaction buttons down there, you can hit those as many times as you want during the stream. So spam those reaction buttons if you hear something that you like. Invite a guest. Send a link to somebody else. If you're someone in your network, a colleague, a boss, a client, that you think could get some value out of this. So make sure to be showing your appreciation during the stream down there. Now, our guest today really needs no introductions. It's Ms. Anne-Marie Colliander Lind. And this is the lady you see. If you think Tucker is, if you hate seeing my face all over the place, because I'm just always out there live streaming, you have Anne-Marie to blame for that, because Anne-Marie is the person who first gave me my first Twitter account, or taught me how to use Twitter. Isn't that right, Anne-Marie?
That's absolutely right. I'm happy to be your twintor, and I'm extremely happy to be here on the Nimdzi Live show. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Sorry, I'm already going off script here. Jeez, I can't. Anyways, the second guest, the most important guest, of course, here is you today, chat. For those of you that are joining us live, looks like we've got about 20 people joining us live. If you we'll bring those comments up on screen if you leave your comments in the chat, and we'll get to them. So if you have any questions for myself or for Miss Anne-Marie, then please submit them. Getting right into it. Localization World has been a pillar in the localization community since I first started in the industry. It has been a place where industry professionals get together, share information, share stories, and share their lives with each other. The pandemic has taken its toll, but Localization World has pivoted to an online format. One side effect of this, a positive side effect, is that the conferences have become much more accessible and easier, I would say, perhaps not easier to manage in general, but easier to manage in new geographies. So we're going to new places. And next week marks a milestone as Localization World, or Localization Worldwide, I should say, is coming to Africa. And today, I'm here to ask Anne-Marie, why? Anne-Marie, why are you going to Africa?
Well, the easiest answer to that is, of course, why not?
Ah, all right. Well, everybody, thank you for joining Nimdzi Live. This has been...
No, but more seriously speaking, I mean, arranging a conference focused on Africa has been in the making since 2017.
I remember. I filled out those surveys.
I have been part of the localization or LocWorld team since then, or even before that. And we always discussed it, but we always came to the challenge of which Africa.
Yeah,
are we going to do it in Egypt? Are we going to do it in South Africa? Are we going to Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana? And we would have had...
Wait. So are there like different states inside Africa? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Here, like, okay, never mind.
54 of them, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, It's not just one big conglomerate. Okay.
Not at all.
Thanks for confirming that. Already adding value to our audience. The more you know, guys.
And this was the biggest challenge. So which Africa are we going to, and how are we going to make sure that we can be an inclusive event? Because that is what we always tried to be. We would have picked a country where infrastructure is good, traveling is easy, the local community is big, or should we go to more rural areas? So we always sort of left it hanging there. And the silver lining, yes, by this pandemic is that we are now virtual. It's going to be our 5th or not 6th virtual conference. And now we can invite anyone who's interested in localization in Africa, for Africa, or just curious about what is going on there. So we are super excited about this opportunity to bring LocWorld to Africa.
Yeah, and from a participant perspective, it's exciting. It's more accessible, and also from a speaker perspective, it's more accessible because you're able to draw on a wider range of talent because you're not tied to people with budget, right? And I think that. I've been going to conferences for as long as you, Anne-Marie, but I've been going to conferences for a few years now, and I can count on one hand, 2 hands maybe, but I certainly wouldn't have to take off my shoes in order to count the number of African colleagues that I've met at conferences, and that's Localization World. Not to call out Localization, it's all of them. But that's Localization World, the in-person events as well. And I don't think that's any fault of anybody. It's just simply that companies that don't have the resources to send salespeople to 19 conferences a year are missing out, and subsequently, we're all missing out because we don't get to hear from them.
So true, Tucker, and. Well, now this is the first attempt, and we have an amazing speaker lineup. I think lots of interesting sessions, but more importantly, we are seeing a lot of new faces amongst the people who have already signed up. I'm learning so much in my outreaches to find new networks to communicate with, and in conversations with a lot of amazing people. So I think this is, it's our way of opening a door to Africa, for Africa to LocWorld to Africa, and hopefully this is just the beginning of a new era where we can have more focused conferences, regional conferences under the LocWorld brand.
And so tell me about the topic. So what's different? Is this just same old LocWorld we all know and love, not much new going on? Why break it or why fix it if it ain't broken kind of thing? Or are we doing anything different? Different continent, different approach?
Well, I think the biggest difference is that you wouldn't recognize at least more than half of the speakers, I think, in the lineup. So we have a lot of new faces there, new brands, new companies that we are getting to know. We did a little pre-taste of the conference, a taste of LocWorld on Monday this week. And Donna Parrish and I, we were comparing notes, and we said, at a regular LocWorld conference, when they were in-person conferences, both of us would spend 90% of the time networking because we care for the people attending. We are in the conference, the exhibition area. But now we look at the program and say,
we care for people that are attending.
Yeah,
I know. It's like, that's like the thing that I've never, that's like the quiet part I've never wanted to say out loud. Mm-hmm. But the LocWorlds that I have gone to, I don't go to the sessions. I pay for the sessions, but I don't go to them. Maybe I go to like one or two, right? And
Well,
I don't think that's like a slight against the speakers to say that. I choose to think of that as like it speaks volumes about the quality of people walking in the halls. Because I'd much rather be out, talking with all my LocWorld's like a family reunion. Now, I mean, you go to two or three of these things, especially if you show up to those, newcomers meetings that Anne Marie and Aki and a bunch of other folks volunteer for. You will walk away with those. You go to three in a row. You go to that first one and you stick out your hand, you make an ass out of yourself, and you meet some new people. And then you go to that second one, you don't have to do that again. Guess what? You just met that. Now you're not going into a conference. You're going back to hang out with your colleagues and learn.
yeah.
And that's always been the value of LocWorld for me. You,
Yeah, and this I think has been an important lesson learned, transforming from live conferences into the virtual environment, is that we, at a very early stage, we researched the market for what would be the best networking tool. Because most platforms where you host the sessions, where you can have a solution square, exhibition area, Q&A, all of those things, it's not meant to be talking peer to peer and having a conversation. So we or my colleague rather, Oksana, she detected Remo. I think she was first in the industry
yeah.
about 2 years ago, and we all just loved it. And we have now made sure, and we have done multiple tests, that Remo also works in Africa. We have had multiple people
That's,
helping us to
I'm,
test
I'm
it.
glad someone on your team thought of testing that.
Yes.
Because that seems
We
like the
know.
type of thing that could really screw up a party. Is like the day of just having bandwidth issues and connectivity issues. And
Yeah, and we know there are bigger challenges, and this is actually also why many of the sessions for LocWorldWide Africa are pre-recorded, just in
yeah,
case.
just in case.
Um,
It's
yeah.
hey, I'm Mr. Livestream. I've always got a plan B, right? So it's like I know you need to have that pack up just in case. So because that was when we first started getting into all of this, these remote conferences. It was a learning curve for all of us. I think our industry did a lot better than most industries out there moving to remote because we're already pretty remote. But there was a huge learning curve. I want to take a moment here because I see folks down there in the comments, and I want to ask you. Well, first of all, I want to show some speakers here. Well, let's just do that. I'm going to show some speakers. LocWorld.com, events, LocWorld46 Africa. Lot of speakers. So I did the whole thing last night where I was going to sit down and like comment on my post and tag all of the speakers. That super annoying thing. I was going to do that for you, Anne Marie, so that you didn't have to. I was going to take one for the team, but LinkedIn deleted my comment halfway through, and I said, screw it.
Oops.
But I didn't know what I was getting into because there are a ton of speakers here. Like you said, names that I know. Ralph Bonaduce. Hey, Ralph. Belen. Of course, I know Belen. Tim Brooks. Yeah, so some usual suspects here. Soren. Jan Grodetsky. But lots of folks that I've just never met before. And that's super exciting. And what I would recommend for folks, and this is what I was trying to comment on LinkedIn last night, is even if you're not going to LocWorld, even if you're busy and you don't have time to go to LocWorldWide Africa, there are some really awesome people in here, and I recommend reaching out to them and connecting, either on LinkedIn or whatever. Build your network, and Tucker Johnson, I'm going to give you permission to do that. And if they get mad at you for reaching out, then say Tucker sent me, because that's what LocWorld's about, right? LocWorld's about building connections. So, hey, if you sign up as a speaker for LocWorld, you don't get to complain about people sending you connection requests.
That's so true, Tucker. And yeah, I agree with you. There are lots of people that are new to me, and we're so happy to have them. And they have put in a lot of resources in helping us also to reach out to the regional communities, to language associations, and to others in Africa. So we are super thankful and grateful for all the work that they have been doing. yeah, we're excited about the program. And as I said, it's localization for Africa and in Africa.
For Africa,
So
in Africa.
it's not for LocWorld to go and tell Africa how to do localization or the other way around. It's both ways. You
Yeah,
know?
that would be.
What
Yeah,
we can
there's
learn
some history
from.
there. That would be a little
Mhm.
problematic. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm excited. And also, shout out to Addie, who I see you lurking in the comments there, Addie. Shout out to Addie and all the work that she's doing over there at Bowlingo. She's killing Clubhouse, guys. If you thought Clubhouse was dead in the localization industry, then you aren't following enough African colleagues in the industry, because she's keeping it alive and she's doing a lot of work over there. So, shout out to Addie. And also, I want to look at some of these, because there's some very nice videos here. I want to look at some of these, if you don't mind, Anne Marie, of the speakers. But I also want to give an invite. If anyone's in the comment section watching, small group today, that's chill. Small group, so that means intimate. That means you might want to come up on stage with us. So anyone, open invitation to anybody who is a speaker here or who is attending. If you're a speaker or if you're attending Localization World, go to live.nimdzi.com and you will dial into a Google Meet and we'll get you up on screen. And camera on or off, your decision. I've got options for both. But
hi everybody, my name is Ricky Kalu from Kalu Media, a company based in Johannesburg, South Africa, where I'm speaking to you from. I'm really excited about LocWorld this year, especially LocWorld 46 being around the topic of Africa. It's really exciting. I'm so honored to be one of the presenters this year, and I'll be talking about why small languages are big business in Africa currently. I'll be speaking from my experience in advertising, media, and the digital spaces particularly, and I'm really hoping to see you there. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, this is the right time to do it. See you there.
Thank you. Ricky Kalu is great. Ricky's based in South Africa, and he runs a lot of stuff now. They're kind of blowing up. I think he's made some investments.
What's going on, everyone?
Oh, my goodness. Autoplay.
Do we have sound on that, Tucker? Because I couldn't hear him. I could read the subtitles, but I didn't hear him.
Yeah, they had sound. You didn't. Let me route your microphone. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I did the subtitling, so I know what he said.
Yeah, so you're very familiar with what's going on. Well, let's hear from another one here. Who we got here on Twitter?
Jambo, my name is Paul Warambo, and I'm looking forward to attend LocWorld46 Africa. I'm participating from Nairobi, Kenya. Did you know that Swahili is spoken by over 180 million people across East and Central Africa? This is an important lingua franca of this region. I hope to see you virtually in March. Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
All right, let's do one more, and then I want to put you back in the hot seat here. We got Addie. Addie Koulibaly.
Hi, my name is Addie Namaran Koulibaly, and I'm one of the speakers at LocWorldWide Africa. I'll be speaking during a session on the gaps and opportunities in the African LSP landscape from Accra, Ghana, where I am based. Interestingly, Ghana is one of the most peaceful countries on the continent of Africa, and it's also the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence from colonial rule. I look forward to having you attend my session on the 8th of March, 2022. Thank you and see you there.
Oh, thank you, Addie. Addie's great. So that's just a taste here. I've got some more videos that that Donna sent. Donna Parrish sent.
Hi, my name is
Addie, we heard from you. Thank you. Calm down, Addie. Calm down. Addie, though, you can join live.nimdzi.com. Come on up here with us. I dare you. The program. So we talked a little bit about the speakers, and it's really great to be hearing African voices. I would be very disappointed if it was a bunch of people that look like me, just showing up and talking at people dialing in from Africa. I would not. I would have feelings about that. So I'm very glad to see all of the different speakers. But tell me about the topics. Tell me about the agenda. Was it was having the focus be on Africa, how did that affect the types of topics and sessions that you wanted to get for the conference?
Well, we have sessions on best practices, both from experiences from the African language services providers. There's a panel with several companies represented, African companies. So that's one aspect. So there's a lot of also insights in challenges, language challenges, how to choose from the many languages that you could have, but how do you select? How do you prioritize the languages that you are localizing into? And then we also have some case studies or best practices from international brands as we know them. So we have, for instance, Airbnb. I know that Salvo was a guest of yours here on Nimdzi Live not long ago.
Oh,
he's going to share.
He's about to be a guest again here because I got a video from him queued up. whether he likes it or not, he's coming back to Nimdzi Live.
That's good. No, but he's going to share their localization journey and what prompted them to choose the languages that they did, and how they have localized the product and services for the African market. So that is definitely going to be one of the highlights. What else do we have? Well, we have a wonderful keynote. I met him virtually the other day. As always at the LocWorld conferences, we have chosen a keynote that is not from our industry, because we know that we have a lineup of speakers who can talk about localization. So this is, as always, an external from our industry keynote speaker.
You guys always do a really good job of, like, my old joke that I used to say, behind your back, of course, when I get done at LocWorld, is when you're done with LocWorld, what do people talk about? They talk about two things. They talk about the keynote and they talk about the food. Right? So all of the stress that you're like, I want to get a good program. I want to add value. I want to provide opportunities. It's like, people are there to eat and, listen to a fun story from somebody that flew in from somewhere else.
The good news here is that everyone is responsible for their own food. No complaints on food this year.
BYO food.
Promise.
Yeah.
But I know. And it has always been important to LocWorld to put someone on stage to, get that energy into the room, have a conversation piece that people can engage with or through the conference. And it's not my work. This is almost alone Donna Parrish.
She's a machine. She's a machine. Like, you went offline last night and she just picked up. Anne-Marie scheduled this like 12 hours ago. I don't know when she scheduled it, but it was like 16 hours ago. So, this is a last minute event, but Donna Parrish just jumped in. And when you went offline,
I tried to get to you actually, Tucker, last week, but I know that you were elsewhere. My wife.
You saw. You follow me on Facebook. I was out having fun with the kids. So I was on vacation last week. How dare I go on vacation? You mentioned our friend Salvo. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hi, everyone. I'm Salvo Giamadesi, Head of Localization at Airbnb. I'm talking to you from San Francisco, where I will be attending LocWorld Africa. If you're interested to know about how Airbnb entered Africa and how we localized our products, please come attend my talk at LocWorld Africa in March. See you there. Ciao.
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 Thank you. Salvo's great. Salvo's a very dynamic speaker, and every time he opens his mouth, I learn something. So make sure if you're going to local. I feel sorry because you guys have multiple tracks. And that's my next question. You guys have multiple tracks, so I feel sorry if someone's in a competing track with Salvo.
Well, we have two tracks, the keynote and also one of Salvo's two appearances will be in a single track. So he has the opening session on day 2 of the conference, where we will be hosting that as a solo event or solo session. But the good news again with the virtual conference is that everything will stay on the platform for a time after the conference. So if
but not indefinitely. though, right? So,
No,
because I don't want people thinking like, oh, I'm busy next week, but I'll watch the recordings. Well, don't count your chickens before they hatch, right? Like there might not be recordings for how long are the recordings going to be available, and who are they going to be available to?
Well, I'm a little bit vague because I don't know the exact date, but I think it's like 6 weeks after the conference,
Okay.
so you can still access the recordings. But I would like to stress that the benefit of actually being there, that some of the sessions will have live Q&A, you can be part of the conversation, and all the networking opportunity is not recorded. You cannot go to Remo, you cannot access conversations with your industry peers, you cannot make new friends if you're watching a recording. So for no other reason, you should be there while the conference is live, because we have, I think it's 4 networking sessions on Remo per day. So
yeah,
lots of opportunities to interact.
And for those of you out there who have not experienced a conference on the Remo platform, I've dialed into LocWorldWide conferences on the platform before. It's good. It's good. I like it, and I'm not necessarily a hater, but I am a online event platform skeptic. I am very difficult to please when it comes to online events. I think that might be a little like live streamer rivalry going on because there's overlap there. But so I just say that to say this. If I say it's good, then take my word for it. Because what they do is they put you in, there's different areas, there's different rooms, and you can go and you can choose to go sit down at a table and join a conversation, much like you're at a conference. And you're at a conference and there's different tables around. Everyone's got a cup in their hands and they're chit-chatting. They're having a lot of fun. And you're awkwardly standing in the corner like it's a middle school dance. And you just walk up to a table and you stand there and you just join a conversation and bam, now you have new friends. It's basically that same experience, except it's like a video game. So that's my plug for the platform. I'm not on the payroll for the platform, but it's good.
No, we should all have bought shares in various platforms early during the pandemic.
We all should have done many things.
People who did, they are lacking now. But Remo works very well. And as I said in the beginning, we have tried it and tested it. It's even possible to join on a cell phone in case you don't have the bandwidth, and you can access the desktop. You can access via phone. It's not exactly the same experience, but at least you can engage in the conversation. So that's really cool.
Who's I think we owe a shout out to some sponsors here. Tell me about the sponsorship. Who are the companies that are helping you put this together out there? I should ask, because I think that list might be longer than just the list of sponsors.
Well, we have great help. For every local program, we have a new program committee. We have few committee members who are coming back from conference to conference, but we also always invite people from the region, in this case from Africa, from companies representing countries in Africa, to participate in the program committee to make sure that we can provide a comprehensive program which is of interest to in this case, to Africa. And these people have been super helpful. None mentioned, none forgotten. They will be getting some, credits during the conference, but I don't want to start talking about them because I might forget someone.
I heard a great saying the other day. It's like, I will mention nobody so that I leave out nobody, or so that I forget. God damn, I screwed that one up. But there's a great quote. It's like, I think it was Donna that I learned that from. Donna did a LinkedIn post, I think. Donna Parrish, that says, like, I will mention nobody so that I leave out nobody. And I'm like, oh, that's classy. I like that.
That's a good say. Yeah, so I will stick to that principle. But in addition to that, I would also like to highlight, LocWorld has always been a great supporter of Translators Without Borders. Of course, we have a lot of contacts at Clear Global. So they have also been very helpful in evaluating topics and also introducing us to people. we have had an initiative to reach out to as many language associations as we can, because we do know that one of the challenges taking LocWorld to Africa is the price per ticket, which is can be,
it's not cheap.
Very hard for some.
Yeah. It's I mean, conferences, and it's not like LocWorld's the only expensive conference. Historically, conferences are expensive. They're expensive to host, they're expensive to put on, and they're expensive to attend. And I hope, it doesn't matter what I hope, it matters what happens. But when conferences come back on in person, I'm interested to see the dynamic that happens, because there is a cohort of people in our industry that's very eager to start getting stamps in their passport again. But it's going to be interesting to see what we do as an industry. And I'm not going to put like LocWorld in the hot spot. It's all of us. What are we going to do as an industry to make sure that we retain that level of inclusion and accessibility that have kind of been, frankly, an unintended side effect of moving to remote, but a side effect that we really like? How do we retain that as we go back into in-person or hybrid or whatever? But you mentioned Clear Global, so I would be remiss not to plug that. Clear Global is Translators Without Border and Clear Global working together here. Here's their homepage I wanted to show you, but we've been talking a lot, and the folks over at Multilingual News, Multilingual Magazine, have been doing great coverage on stuff that's happening in Ukraine right now and how that's affecting folks in our industry. But there is opportunities to donate, to volunteer, to sign up. There are forms to fill out if you are feeling in a mood to donate your linguistic skills or management skills or otherwise to help the people that are affected by what's going on in Ukraine right now. So,
yes, I think mentioning the language association. So what we did was to offer their members a big discount on the registration fee.
Nice.
We have also been encouraging African headquartered translation companies and offering them 50% off for exhibiting if
Nice.
they were interested in that. And the language associations have been they've been enthusiastic. Let's see how many actually signs up. But at least this is, again, a way for us to reach people that we otherwise would not reach, because these are people that we don't have in our network so far. So we have an association in Ghana. We have the East African Interpreters and Translators Association, the Language Service Providers of Nigeria, South African Translators Institute, and EAGLES, the Egyptian Association for Globalization and Language Solutions. I just want to highlight those, because if you are a member and you're listening in now, or you're listening later on the recording of this conversation, you should reach out to your association and ask for the special discount code. And so we're very grateful for the collaboration that we have had with the regional language associations. We wish we would have had more. These were the ones that we could for the time being at least, engage.
It's not, and this is, I'm not saying this with any disrespect, but it's not I don't want to say mature market. The market looks very different than the rest of the world, the market for language services in Africa. And I'll also plug, there's a great podcast. It's called the Africa LSP podcast. It's by Adi. Adi, you're in the comments. Link to it, please, if you can. I'm plugging for you here. But she interviews Johan Botha, who is also in the comments, I believe. He runs an LSP down in South Africa, and they talk about that. They talk a lot about like what's going on in Africa, how is it different than in Europe. But for those of us that are, haven't dipped our toe in the African waters, I will tell you it's not. It looks very differently. And that's not to say that it's less mature, more mature. It's to say that African industry that they've built up, that has organically been built up around itself, or around the needs presented there, is custom suited to adapt to the the environment that they're in, regulatory, government, or lack thereof, and also adapted to just for the culture, right? It works, is what I'm trying to say. It's a fancy way of trying to say, like, the way that they're doing localization over in Africa, if it works for them, great. But I do, if I was a betting man, I'm not, but if I were, I'd have my money on the African LSP landscape coming up. You know, I'm very interested in watching that in the next 5 to 10 years because, in theory, there's not much holding them back from becoming powerhouses. You know, Ghana, you got a low-cost English labor force, English-speaking labor force, educated, and just why are more LSPs not opening up shop in Ghana? That's a different conversation. But anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. But LocWorld.
Oh, don't worry. LocWorld, yeah. So you are asking who else is behind. Well, we have 2 conference sponsors. I can do a shout out to them, right?
Yeah. Translated and
translation, back office, and translated are sponsors of the conference. We're very grateful to have them. We have a Solution Square, our exhibition area, virtual, with a couple of companies there. We also offer these language associations to have a free booth so that they can get some visibility to the attendees coming to LocWorld, to know that there is a language association in Ghana and how to reach them and what types of members do they have. Could perhaps open up a wealth of resources for any language service provider who is there in the audience at LocWorld. So yeah, we're trying to do different things. And we also have 2 very nice initiatives. So Lionbridge and LocWorld are partnering in support of education in the field of localization for those who are eager to learn. So this is a late coming news. So there's a scholarship in the courtesy of Lionbridge. So if anyone listening now or have friends or have others who would really like to come but cannot fund the entrance fee for LocWorldWide or the workshops, the global toolbox sessions that we are hosting the week after LocWorld, there is a form on the registration site where you can apply for a scholarship. And Lionbridge is then waiving the ticket for these people if you can give a short explanation. So particularly this is aimed for young talents, linguists, translators, but also others who would like to, eager to learn more, or maybe entering the localization industry, and they don't know where to start. So I think this is a beautiful initiative, and we're happy to announce it. It just came about yesterday, so it's really
is there one scholarship available? How many scholarships are available?
It depends on, there is a total value, but we're talking in the hundreds.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the point is, the moral of the story is, if that's what's keeping you, if you're prevented from going to LocWorld because of cost considerations, don't be. Is essentially, I think, the takeaway there. Don't be prevented from going to LocWorld just because of cost, because there are folks out there that are willing to pick up the tab. Yeah. Thank you, Lionbridge. They're doing a lot of cool stuff. I mean, they're out there. They're out there.
They are out there, definitely. But I also would like to, even this is not open for everyone, but I also would like to say that We Localize has also a training program for junior talents in Africa, which includes students in Tanzania, Nigeria, and Ethiopia. In total, 32 students, and they are also waiving the tickets for these young talents to participate in LocWorld. So again, very nice initiative, because we know that the price is an issue for many of these people to be able to attend the conference. And these are just 2 examples of and in addition, the associations, the work that they are doing. So there are ways to get into the conference without paying a full ticket.
Well, I think that's the best news that we're going to have today. So it's all downhill from here. Do you? Why don't we start wrapping this up, Miss Anne Marie? Do you have any closing thoughts for us? Oh my goodness, the African music came on. How appropriate.
No, I just, as I said in the start of the conversation, to us, this is a door opener. We hope that we have made a lot of new friends and widen our horizon and broaden our network. And I hope to see many of you next week. We start Monday, 7th of March, with an opening reception. And then the conference is being held on West African time zone, which is the same as Central European time zone. Convenient for me, hard for my colleagues in the US.
Yeah.
And it's 2 days full conference, Tuesday and Wednesday next week. And if you can't make it this time, keep an eye out for the next opportunity.
Yeah. Follow LocWorld on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you get your propaganda, and you'll be notified when they get when they do the next one. Well, thank you, Anne-Marie. I'm gonna close it up here. Ladies, gentlemen, join me in the comment section, spamming that like button like I'm doing right now to show your appreciation for Anne-Marie and everybody on the LocWorld team, everybody at Translated, Translation Back Office, everybody at We Localize and Lionbridge that are stepping up with sponsorships. Like we want it, the industry wants this to see this succeed, and it will succeed. So I'm very excited that Anne-Marie asked me to be a part of that, so I can help promote it. If you enjoyed this Nimdzi Live experience, then join us next time. Is there a next time? Yeah. Oh boy, there is a next time. Next time is in 1 hour. I will be doing a 2-hour workshop on something. Oh, managing customer expectations, I believe. I don't know. It's going to be great. It's a 2-hour workshop and it's free. So I don't know what more you need to hear from that. Shortly after that, at 10:15 Pacific Standard. 11:30? Okay, at 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, I'll be talking to Corby's Jesse Glaisman. We're going to be talking about cybersecurity and the effect that it has on localization. We set this up a couple weeks ago. In the meantime, some stuff happened, and there's all sorts of cyber attacks going on in the world right now. So the topic is more timely now than ever. I appreciate our guest, Anne-Marie. I appreciate everybody in chat who's contributing, even though nobody was brave enough to go to live.nimdzi.com and come up on screen with us. And I appreciate everybody in the industry that's really coming together to make Localization World a success. And with that, say bye, Anne-Marie.
Thanks for having me, Tucker.
Yes, ma'am.